Hey guys, this is Alex Movie and Video Game Corner 2001 here, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review. So this movie review, I'm going to be reviewing a 2001 animated movie that was made by Walt Disney Pictures and Pixar Animation Studios, and it was the third computer animated movie ever made. Comes after Toy Story from 1995, A Bug's Life from 1998, and Toy Story 2 from 1999, and that is Monsters, Inc. So the plot of Monsters, Inc. got these two monsters who lives in a big city called Monstropolis in the monster world. They got one-eyed green monster named Mike Wazowski. There's a blue furry monster named James P. Sullivan who goes to work at the factory called Monsters Incorporated with the other monsters in the factory. And then later on, Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan met all the monsters at the factory named Smidia Needleman. Then later on, Mike Wazowski met his girlfriend named Celia because Celia's birthday. Who wants to go on a date with sushi fancy restaurant at the end of the day at work at the factory. Then later on, Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan got the nasty villain named Randall Boggs, Henry J. Waternoose, and Jeff Fungus. And then later on, Mike Wazowski and his friends is at work at the factory, and the factory monsters wears a hard hat. And then later on, James P. Sullivan, Randall Boggs, George Sanderson, and all the top scarers will scare the children away, scare away from the children. And then the monsters wants to collect these children's screams in the can. And then later on, George Sanderson got the orange monster named George Sanderson, who was stuck on the children's sock on his back. Then later on, the CDA agents will pull the sock off of George Sanderson's back. And then at the end of a day, James P. Sullivan saw this little girl named Boo, who lives in the human world, in the Boo's door. And then later on, Mike Wazowski and Celia has his date on the fancy sushi restaurant. And then later on, Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan, Celia, and Boo goes back to his apartment. And then later on, Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan and Celia wants to put the little girl named Boo on his monster costume like a monster. She's a disguise. He was sneaking from the factory sneaking in the monster world in the factory. And then later on, Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan were banished in the human world. And then they met this abominable snowman named Yeti, who lives in the human world in the Himalayas. Mike Wazowski loves to throw the snow cones at James P. Sullivan. And then later on, Mike Wazowski, James P. Sullivan, and Boo must work together to try to defeat the bad guys. And then Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan put in this human world in the Boo's door. Put the little girl Boo in the human world Boo's door. Boo's going home. So that's for the plot for this movie. So what do I think of it? I think Monsters, Inc. was an awesome Pixar animated movie from 2001. The music is good, voice actress good, the animation's good, screenplay's good, layout's good, story's good, song's pretty good by Randy Newman, Billy Crystal and John Goodman, sound effects pretty good, and the colors are pretty good. Well, you guys been wondering, Alex Movie and Video Game Corner 2001, have you seen Monsters, Inc. in theaters back in 2001? And the answer to that question is no, I've not seen Monsters, Inc. in theaters back in 2001 because I was a little baby because I was too young to go to the movies. Well, you guys been wondering, Alex Movie and Video Game Corner 2001, will you recommend Monsters, Inc. to our friend? And the answer to that question is yes, I highly recommend Monsters, Inc. to our friend, which that was an awesome Pixar animated movie from 2001. Well, you guys been wondering, Alex Movie and Video Game Corner 2001, What we rate Monsters Inc. I'll rate Monsters Inc. 10 out of 10 stars. That was an awesome Pixar animated movie from 2001. This movie was released in theaters on November 2nd, 2001. Along with that includes a sequel called Monsters University, which came out June 21st, 2013, which that was a great sequel. Also, they got the TV show called Monsters at Work, which came out in 2021 on streaming on Disney Plus. If you want to go see it, check it out. And also they got short films. They also have short films like Mike's New Car, which came out September 17th, 2002, and Party Central, which came out in 2014, which those are great short films. Well, thank you guys. And that's it, guys. So that's my movie review on Monsters Inc. Goodbye, everybody. For me, Alex Movie and Video Game Corner 2001, for me saying, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for Alex Movie and Video Game Corner 2001.